Hey guys, Ricardo here and welcome to another blog tech tips. In today's tutorial guys, I have the switch tool here and of course I'm going to show you to adjust it on your TV. To demonstrate what I mean, I'm going to show you to adjust the HDR and of course to configure it to get the best results. Now of course by default the HDR requires some tweaking. Normally as you connect it to the TV, it gives you the option to say when you connect afresh, it would say adjust or later. Now, if you have been putting it off, I'll show you how to do it. Now, of course, I'll be controlling the options, and of course, I'll be demonstrating on a Samsung TV. So you can actually use this for a guide for a Samsung TV or any TV. All right. So every TV is different, and of course, their HDR settings are different. All right. So high dynamic range give better quality and more depth and vibrant colors. However, if it's not configured correctly, your game is going to look washed out, and of course the colors are just not going to be right. All right, so I'm going to show you how to tweak the setting. All right, so you can either get to the setting either by launching the game, and for that first time when it's connected to the TV or so, it will ask you every time you power up the console, if it's not adjusted, it will ask you to adjust the settings. All right, so one of the things I noticed about the Samsung TV is that it's too bright and everything is just out of whack. Do not know if it's coming across on this video, but I'll show you how to adjust the HDR. All right, so first of all, I'm going to show you to find the settings without it being prompted in the game. So go to system settings, as you can see on screen. So you're going to go into system settings. Next, you're going to go down and you're going to search for the option that says display. So as you can see here, we have the option for display. And while we're in the option for display, I'm going to go down. We're going to search for, and now look very carefully, please. Once you start at the top, there's an option that says System Screen HDR. Right, so the first option up here that says System Screen HDR Output, that should be on. However, do not mess with that. That's not the option we're looking for. All right, so it should be on like that. However, this is not the HDR we're looking for. So if you go down, you'll see it says all the way at the bottom there, adjust HDR. And if you click, there you go. This would have been the one that the game directs to. All right, so now you know where to find it. Now, again, it asks, if you see right here, it says to show the values. Now, it says you should adjust the display until the pattern on the left, which is this one, is visible and the pattern on the right isn't. All right, so of course, you're going to go ahead and press Y on your key. So what's going to happen? You're going to see the value. So the default value, meaning the one that the games gives no matter the TV, especially if it's not sure, it will give it a 300 value. Now memorize that because you may need to place it back to its default just in case you move things too far. All right, so it's good to know the base that the game uses. All right, because I don't see a reset option. All right, so just in case things get worse off, you know where to restart to. All right, so remember that this Samsung is too bright. So what we're going to do here, we're going to adjust. So we're going to move the value up and down. So we're going to try up first. And remember, the one over here should get brighter. This one should get dull. So we should only see one and the other should disappear. All right, so we're going that way. We're up to 430, 440, and we see that we're not getting any progress. We're not seeing this one getting any brighter and that both of them are getting dull. So we're going to go the opposite way. All right, so we're going to go back down to the base of 300. As you can see, and we are now okay, so we're getting some progress. You notice this one is getting brighter and this one is getting duller. All right, now this one is extremely bright and this one is now dull, but it says that this one should disappear. All right, now for some reason guys, Nintendo did not perfectly create this thing because it never seems to adjust on any TV perfectly. All right, so if you're on an LG, I have a LG, and it doesn't perfectly disappear, and that's because of course there's a bunch of stuff turned on and every TV has a different system of HDR. So of course, if you can adjust your HDR settings, you may want to go in correlation with this and tweak that. All right, so we're going to get it as close to perfect as possible, but remember this system is not perfect. All right, so 200 looks nice. We're gonna, all right, so 190. All right, we're going to continue. All right, so we're down to 80. All right, so 80 is the lowest it will allow us to. So let's now compare it. So you're gonna notice that we're extremely bright over here, so that's good. But this is the one here. We're gonna get this as faint as possible, if not to get it to disappear totally. So for some reason I've never been able to totally get it to disappear, but the perfect setting would be for this to totally disappear, or the next would be to get it as dim as possible. So let's go. We're gonna go back up. So we're getting dim. It's a little bit dimmer. I'm keeping my eye on the one that's bright as well. Dim. All right. Okay, and right at 200 is where this one is bright and this one is kind of dull. So we're gonna just look again, see if we're getting a little bit better. All right, so it starts to get brighter again, so that means I'll go up. So between 100 and 200 for me, and that's my Samsung TV. So all right, there you go. So what, between 150 and 200, I'm going to place it a little bit somewhere between 150 and 200 based on what I'm seeing. So I'm going to put it at 150, so that's 150. Then I'm going to look at the upper height of 200. All right, so it's somewhere between 150 and 200 is the best I can get it. So I'm going to place it somewhere between here. All right, so I notice it's getting brighter. So 200 is about right for me, according to what I'm seeing. All right, so that's the best I can get it. It's very faint, not perfect, but the blacks are really black. And the faint is almost gone, but not perfectly gone. All right, so next we're gonna go to next. And as I was saying earlier, the TV is extremely bright. So what I'm gonna do is showing you a picture here. So it says Y to adjust brightness, X to change the image. All right, so we can change the image with X. So if I hit X, the image will change. All right, so this is a good one. So I'm gonna hit Y to adjust the brightness. All right, and of course, remember, if you're in a bright room with natural light, you would need to go higher, but if you're in a dark room, you would need to go lower. All right, so I'm going around there. I'm gonna hit back, and I'm gonna change the image again. So I'm gonna change the image with X. Okay, here's a natural image. I'm gonna change it on this one, so I'm gonna go to Y. All right, so this is totally low. This is too bright. All right, so it's somewhere down here. So extreme, a little higher. So somewhere right here. And based on what I'm seeing, I'll put it right here. I'm gonna hit back. Now to exit, you're gonna hit OK when you're finished adjusting. So I'm gonna hit OK. That's by pressing A on the OK option that was right there. All right. So HDR is now adjusted. You can actually go back in to see if it's actually where you want it to be, and hit Y. There you go. I'm at 200. All right. So now I'm gonna go and go back, and I'm gonna go back again. All right, and you can see the difference already. The screen is much improved, and I can actually see that the games are not looking bad. All right, so I'm gonna start up to a splash screen. I can't show you too much of the game, but I can just show you the main splash screen. All right, so here it is. Okay guys, so I couldn't show too much, as of course it could result in a copyright strike, but it doesn't look too bad. And of course, remember that you can go back in and adjust your settings and keep tweaking until you get it just perfect or to your liking. All right, so it doesn't look too bad. Some TVs will angle feature better. Some you can simply go ahead and play as is without really messing too much around with that setting. But of course, that's just to guide you as to how it works. All right, so hope your HDR makes your game looks really superb. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.